Designs are mostly meant to serve a specific purpose to a certain audience. Some are designed to entertain, some are to help people travel, some are to even take the lives of others. But there are a few that are meant to save the many lives in a time of conflict.
This is the M35 Stahlhelm. The name Stahlhelm deriving from the German words for steel helmet. A helmet that has served many nations in the times of conflict and has seen many battlefields. The history of the Stahlhelm dates back to a world-defining event known in the history books as the First World War. Its need was first commissioned by the German army. They needed something that helped to protect their men from shrapnel that was caused by the bombs. The need for this was necessary. Men were dying in the thousands due to the lack of protection from the shrapnel. The heads of the soldiers would be filled with the shards of metal, killing them instantly.
Its debut was in late 1950, and its results proved that it has a place in war. Casualties were lower than before. Fewer soldiers were dying from the shrapnel wounds. In fact, the likely chance of dying from shrapnel became less than 20% after the introduction of the Stahlhelm. It became an essential part to the soldier's kit. 1918, Armistice Day. The end of this war. But it wasn't the end of war itself. Dozens of conflicts sprung as the interwar years were occurring. The Polish-Soviet War, the Spanish Civil War, and the First Chinese Civil War. But all of these conflicts had one thing in common. The Stahlhelm was seen being worn, regardless of what faction or person it was worn by. As the year 1933 arrived, the Stahlhelm was improved over the years to suit the needs of the nations that it served. But its design would be cemented in the minds of the modern population when the term Nazi Germany is mentioned. Hitler's Germany, although brutal to those who lived under his reign, it was an alarm to most, telling the world that the effects of the Great War were still here. The M35 version of the Stahlhelm, which was shown earlier, was put into service in 1935, and over 1 million units would be made throughout its service time. Its time was almost up. As the Third Reich fell, the last helmets that were being made in makeshift factories ceased production. Germany would be occupied by foreign powers, and the helmet will only be produced for a short while during the Cold War before being replaced and forgotten in the annals of history. Although the Stahlhelm itself wouldn't be produced in mass quantities to serve as the main helmet of a nation again, its impact will go on to last for a century. The design would heavily influence the modern-day MiC, or Modern Infantry Combat Helmet, that almost all armies use at one point in today's world. Its design has saved many lives in modern warfare, with stronger, more durable material being used not only to prevent shrapnel wounds, but from bullets as well. The Stahlhelm itself is also seen in parades in South American countries, just like Chile or Bolivia, to display the historical impact the helmet has in shaping their nations.
The helmet, in the average person's eye, may seem to be worth nothing, and it can even be described by them as having played no part in world history. But its worth can only be appreciated once it protects you from certain doom. Its role, after all, is to save the lives of many.